It is my humble opinion, there's nothing humble about me. Bitcoin will go to fucking zero. It is my humble opinion, there's nothing humble about me. Bitcoin will go to fucking zero. It is my humble opinion, there's nothing humble about me. Bitcoin will go to fucking zero. It is my humble opinion, there's nothing humble about me. Bitcoin will go to fucking zero, 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 It is my humble opinion, there's nothing humble about me. Bitcoin will go to fucking zero. It is my humble opinion, there's nothing humble about me. Bitcoin will go to fucking zero. It is my humble opinion, there's nothing humble about me. Bitcoin will go to fucking zero. It is my humble opinion, there's nothing humble about me. Bitcoin will go to fucking zero, 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 It is my humble opinion, there's nothing humble about me. Bitcoin will go to fucking zero. It is my humble opinion, there's nothing humble about me. Bitcoin will go to fucking zero. It is my humble opinion, there's nothing humble about me. Bitcoin will go to fucking zero. It is my humble opinion, there's nothing humble about me. Bitcoin will go to fucking zero, 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 It is my humble opinion, there's nothing humble about me. Bitcoin will go to fucking zero. It is my humble opinion, there's nothing humble about me. Bitcoin will go to fucking zero. It is my my humble opinion, there's nothing humble about me. Bitcoin will go to fucking zero. It is my humble opinion, there's nothing humble about me. Bitcoin will go to fucking zero. 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 Zero.
Right, bonjour, good afternoon, good evening, happy Tuesday, not Monday. How's everyone doing? Let's maybe put something a little bit less spicy on, shall we? The DJ skills of Charlie haven't quite got to the point where I can just seamlessly transfer between chilled tunes and the wonderful Zero remix. Whoever made this as a Chad, yeah, it's incredible. Shout out to Matt Jack, or however you pronounce his name. I've probably just butchered it completely. For doing it. Yeah, how's everyone doing? Play the ETH 2.0 rap next. Let's have it, boss. Baby Owl already here in the chat. Just waiting only. Ledge. Good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening, good morning, good afternoon. Open one short and all of a sudden it's your favourite song? Yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, that's it. Open up one short and it's over. The entire market is going to fucking zero. No, it's just because every time I've tried to trade along, I've got my ass handed to me. And every time I've gone short, it seems to have worked out. I mean, yeah, we'll go over it in a little bit more detail. How was the show this weekend? It was incredible, mate. Linkin Park was absolutely amazing. Such a good weekend as well. Just nice to get away, down tools, just ignore Twitter basically and ignore the chop, you know. Someone's making money somewhere, but it's just fucking slow and boring, the market in general. You know, it's summer. It's the sunniest time in Britain. It's actually warm outside. My air conditioning unit is on. And I feel like fucking royalty, to be honest, because no one else in the UK seems to have it. But anyway, enough about me. Enough about me. Let's jump into some stuff. First off, shout out to BonkBot for sponsoring the stream. As you can see, they've done a huge load of developments and updates, even since last week. What about a 401k boomer coin? I mean, I haven't even got much soul left. Let's just go. That sounds like my jam. Let's see what's going on today. See what's going on today. We are currently in profit. Let's fucking rock and roll. So yeah, 401k boomer coin. Let's go. If you guys haven't actually signed up to check what's wrong with me? It's too fucking hot. To check BonkBot out yet, you need to. And obviously use my ref link because I'm a shameless shiller these days. So I will dump it in the chat, and you guys can try it out. And I will just hope that I don't hear my voice, because it's horrific hearing your own voice, isn't it? Go try it out. Get on there. And I will speak to the team and see if I can airdrop whoever's signed up and actually using it and doing some volume through it, some sol or something. They said before I wasn't allowed to do it because of like GDPR-esque stuff, but if I don't know any of the details behind it, I'm sure it's fine. So yeah, go give it a go. We'll come back to our little 401k boomer gamble later on, which, as is probably standard, I ape the Pico top because I just see something that I like the name of. But, you know, the actual reality is that there are famous wallets, good old sloppy, buying and selling up here in the same candle. There was one earlier that I saw, actually, that was pretty nuts, that actually ran a bit. Where was it? There's all sorts of Musk and Trump shit going on, you know, until it inevitably gets rugged. That's the kind of meta at the moment, isn't it? Bonk cash token. That could be interesting. But anyway, I don't think I've got much left to gamble with. I'm going to need to top up and rock and roll it. So yes, let's jump to, well, firstly sign up with BonkBot. Do that. I'll send some sol out. I'll give you a day, because a lot of people watch this stream on catch up. And then I'll speak to the guys and see if I can just send some random sol out to people who have signed up. Yeah, let's jump into actual market then. I've not really been doing much this week, I'll be honest with you. Like, how's everyone feeling sentiment-wise about the market? Are you bullish? Are you super bearish? Are you super bearish? Are you super bullish? Are you super choppy? What's your thoughts? What's your fancies? What's kind of tickling your vibes at the moment? Always bullish, comfy in the spot. I like that. Like, I like someone with conviction who just goes, you know what? I don't care fundamentally. Like, you know, fundamentally I'm bullish on the space. I'm happy. If this takes years to resolve, fine. If this takes weeks, fine. If this is the Pico top, fine. You know, for now, obviously short-term Pico top, not the top forever. RRB, I'll have a look at it, Smokey. We'll come back to it. I haven't looked at RRB for a long time. To be honest, I think most of the kind of meta with like cash generative casino tokens is probably a bit behind us. It's not dumb enough to an extent. Basically, nothing has changed the last few weeks. Spot good, just waiting out the range. Yeah, I think chop for the rest of the summer and hopefully one final leg up Q3, Q4. Yeah, monthly candles are encouraging. Not expecting any breakout soon. That's fair. Been down only really, but I think it's too cheap. Yeah, how big's your bag, brother? How big's your bag? Yeah, I mean, I haven't traded much this week purely because heat, and I've actually been coding a lot and trying to play around with some fresh indicators for the group, which it's almost every time I think I've nailed it, it looks shit at certain points, and I feel like I'm like adding to a Jenga tower at this point in time. So it might be best to kind of scrap and start again. I don't know how many people have tried deving stuff and have just gone through like very iterative cycles. But yeah, I think I'm at the point where I might just delete it and start again, or just take snippets of it and start again. Not fully delete, but anyway. The longer prices are low, I keep buying. Thank you to the sellers. Oh, fair. Well, we'll come on to what I think, like short term, medium term, and longer term, right? Because I think it's really important that I actually start just being very clear with how I see the market. And what I'm going to try and do is I'm going to write my Word doc out. Actually, it's an Excel doc. And I'm just going to keep a track of everything I've kind of said on stream so we can follow it week to week. And we can go from A to B to C and just do things a little bit better than we've done them previously, right? And I think if we do it like that, you guys will get a much better kind of view of my system, my thought process, how I'm handling things. Yeah. And we'll go from there. So as you can see, my short-term view is pretty bearish, right? I don't necessarily think we'll come all the way down here. I started off the week on Monday with the simple view that these highs up here were kind of a bit janky, and that we'd had a really strong move. We were starting to lose momentum on the 4-hour, and really everything was just kind of saying, well, there should be a kind of pullback here, right? And my thought process was it was going to be sweep of these lows eventually, and then potentially this is where we relong, we close this hedge, and we go, okay, we start the grind up again, right? And we reclaim this range, and then we just range for a bit. We range for like a lot of summer. Like maybe it's not as clean as this, right? Maybe there's a bit of jiggery pokery either side, but whatever. Yeah, that was the thought process, and so far it's going okay, right? I'm not gonna fucking celebrate over a whatever it is, 2-3%, well, 2%, 1.3% move, right? It's not the point of it. The point of it is to try and, well, kind of as the word describes really, hedge my exposure from my spot BTC that I bought way back down here, whatever it was, that break, I think maybe some before, and just manage my risk and exposure to the market, because every time I've been trading these rotations, they've been a bit slow as of late. They've been a bit meh. You know, risk hasn't been as strong as I would have liked for some of these rotations. You got like BSV moving and shit like that, and the rest of the market just fucking slowly dying. Like, it's pretty risk off, and this is kind of as you would expect for, you know, low volatility, well, actually quite high volatility, but just like low risk. It feels like a pretty low risk on summer, right? And that's what this is there for. It's to protect me. If we sweep these highs up here, it'll take me out. The reality of it is that now we've had this sell-off, like, I can do this. I can pull my stop down to this high, which is just a hard stop, you know, just in case I'm AFK and it just does this, and, you know, aliens have landed and they're going to use Bitcoin for payments, which is great. You know, buy my bags, ET. But, you know, I'm not going to sit here and be like, right, well, I have to now, you know, hold my original trade thesis. Well, I don't at all. You know, if we're reclaiming this level here, and we're doing it with some decent strength, which it doesn't look like we're going to do, you know, we're certainly not doing that now, then I can change my bias and I can just close this. I can long, I can do whatever I want, right? But for now, the market looks pretty shit. And I don't know, everyone's telling me that, oh, it's, you know, it's going to be amazing, it's going to be incredible. Like, I do agree with part of the chat that said, you know, Q3, Q4, maybe we see something good, like towards the end of Q3 anyway. But I feel like we're more saturated and kind of done than perhaps other people on the timeline. And that's just my honest view. You know, I'm not trying to LARP like, you know, an infinite bull and just say it's going to go up only forever. I personally, you know, love Bitcoin. I love owning Bitcoins. I think that having Bitcoins, you know, in 10 years time, you are not going to look back and go, oh my God, I really regret buying them. But will you in 2 months? Maybe. Will you in 2 years? Probably not. You know, it all depends on your time horizon and your outlook. So short term, I'm bearish / cautious. What will change that is if we break above here, print a higher low, and we start actually gaining some momentum to the upside. Right, medium term, I think, again, cautious. You know, I'm still looking at like range lows right down here. But that as well can change with this simple change in price action. And longer term, I am most certainly bullish. You know, as much as I had a kind of wick target down here, realistically, it's going to be quite hard to go that low. Especially with Sailor and all his jams going on. Sorry, I'm also losing my voice, which is wonderful, obviously very good for streaming. You know, if we do something like this again, it's just going to be pure all in down there. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of parties rushing to buy BTC, and, you know, I'm not going to say that I'm a long-term bear at all. Do I think this is the cycle top? No, I don't. Do I think that there's going to be a bit of a pullback and a chop and some consolidation before the next leg? You know, we can go to 90s and probably will. I mean, I don't know, right? I don't really have any statistical edge on Bitcoin at this point, right? Fuck me, someone just sold a boatload of Altcoin because my P&L just shot the fuck up. See ya, boys. But yeah, short for now, but it's protective. It's not like I'm super macro bearish or anything like that. It's probably hard for a lot of people to hear that, but it is what it is. It's my view. So on the basis of we've had so many good headlines, we've had so much good news, we had this really nice run and rally, and we're kind of failing to sustain that momentum at the moment, right? Failing to sustain it. And again, we can change it with some simple changes in market structure. We can change it with some you know, simple change in direction and a bit of actual bullish momentum. But for now, doesn't really look like that's coming. Yeah. Don't think there's much more to add. Again, with all of this, it's pretty down and to the right, right? Some random shit like ARPA pumping, but no real clear meta emerging. Risk pretty much off the table. ARPA, BSV, and Pengu outperforming Bitcoin, and obviously TRX because it's a redonkulous manipulated stablecoin. Good God, what is going on with my voice today? My apologies, everybody. And useless, being one of the most ridiculous run-ups I've ever seen in my life. Sol ETF rumored to go live tomorrow, but full retrace of the move yesterday was telling. Yeah, exactly. Don't see the bid for alts these days, probably till the end of the year. Do you think Moodang will come down to fill 0.05 to fill the previous move? Let's have a look at Moodang. Let's have a look at Sol, actually. And then we'll go to Moodang. So, like, Sol for me was always like, you know, I love Solana. I think it's been an absolute beast to trade. The whole network has seen, like, this mass adoption for mass extraction and memes. Which is fine, right? Most of crypto is just pure speculation. It's purely hyper-inflated Ponzi-nomic bullshit, right? So, doesn't mean you can't make absurd amounts of money out of it. Just means that you probably shouldn't, you know, marry your bags and all that. Yeah, we are literally in a downtrend, right? Objectively speaking, this is a downtrend, especially if we, you know, finish the day like this. That is a lower high. If you want to put some simple indicators on, you can start looking at like market structures, you know, and be objective about it. Like, it's not great. Like, it just doesn't look wonderful. Yeah, you can go to lower time frame and try and convince yourself that things are much better, which is fine, like from an intraday perspective and so on and so forth. But as Nelly said, like, this was the whole Sol ETF run up. And it just instantly sold off. And one thing that that, you know, the news tells you when it's being absolutely absorbed like this is that even good news isn't, you know, it sends the market for a minute and then like it's down only since that, right? Like literal down only. Like, there was a little bit of resistance here, but the bears are in control, right? It just sold off, and it's still selling off, and it's still going, and fuck me, Altcoin is getting decimated. I can I can see on my other screen Altcoin is just getting annihilated. So we'll come on to that in a second. Sheesh. Yeah, like when the market doesn't hold good news well, then, you know, it's just a pretty weak market. So, yeah, I have tried to trade Altcoin like twice last week to the long side and failed both times. I don't mind. Anyone who knows me will say, or will know that I try and do, you know, I will try and long until I'm wrong, and I'm usually wrong at least twice before I start really respecting the change of trend, right? And the change of risk appetite, most importantly. Like, you know, I would rather, let me just sort of draw an illustration. You know, let's say we do this, yeah? So I would rather try and long that, try and long that, try and long that, etc, etc. Try and long like this and get chunked. Try and long this and get chunked and go, okay, well, I'm going to respect the change in trend and the change in context and environment here. You know, I've probably made an absolute decent chunk on the way up during the high time frame trend, so that when it does shift and when the market does change in terms of, you know, risk on v risk off, that I'm in a good position and I'm up a lot. Now that's never a reason to just blindly give back profits, but sometimes the setups here will be really, really good. They just won't work. You know, that same setup and that same thought process back here would have yielded you a 10% move. Now these are shite, obviously, because they're like 1%. So, you know, I'll always ask myself, was it a good trade? Was it a good thought process? And often the answer is they are the same trade, but the environment is different. And that one didn't work, and I took a small loss, and that one did work, and I took a big win, you know. That's just it, and it's changed. Now, you know, I have to be vigilant. I have to look to see if it's going to change again. But, you know, my favorite coins are kind of getting a bit battered. So we'll answer some of the questions. So you said about desync. Obviously, I've got a bag of desync. They were my stream partners for a while. So you know, I don't know what the disclosure is there, but that's the disclosure. We talked about them before. You know, they're still ranging in this area. You know, it's a good bag to have. I still own a fairly decent sized bag of it. But you know, I wouldn't advocate buying it here, because the opportunity cost of it ranging and doing fucking nothing for a long time is, you know, it's just too big. Like, you are better off waiting for the market to tell you this is going to be a strong coin and a big breakout, and either buy it down here if you're like really bullish on the project and just buy essentially the range lows, or wait for a breakout up here, buy up there when you know that there's some momentum behind it, right? And if there's, you know, going to be a big rotation into desync and a big run again, like, that's the best place to take on the risk, in my opinion, right? Again, this is not financial advice, do your own research, blah de blah. But even if you did something like this, you know, and you had a ridiculous target like up here, you know, that makes much more sense to me than something like this, because there's no guarantee anyway, right? But there's no real reason to think this is suddenly going to start doing that. Whereas when it breaks out and it goes up here, there is a good reason to think it start doing that, because it's been consolidating in a value area for a long time, and now it's broken out of it. And once it's broken out of it, there's a good chance it goes from a ranging move to a trending move, right? Real simple. So yeah, that's decent for you. Mudang. I will do a couple of like requests, because I haven't got too much to go over, to be honest. Oh. So I think it comes back down all the way to 0.05. So I actually longed this from like down here. I was here, wasn't it? It was here, it was 0.07. I literally longed it from like 0.07 way back in October. If anyone remembers my P&L card from back then, it was fucking, I think it was the highest percentage P&L card I think I've ever had. It was that wasn't like, that was a perp, that wasn't, you know, an on-chain piece of garbage. It was, yeah, it was redonkulous. But anyway. Do I think it will come down there? Yeah, I mean, structurally, it looks like shit, right? This is the problem with a lot of stuff. Like, a lot of stuff is like under daily trends. It's negative market structures. You know, it's just not great. Like, it's just screaming that it wants to go further down. And this is why I'm like really cautious at the moment. And I'm not trading as much like this week as I was even 3 or 4 weeks ago, right? Because some really simple stuff will just tell you that, you know, it's not great. You know, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high. Like, it doesn't matter what you do. You put trends on it. You put market structure on it. Like, it's telling you it's going down. Because most people are kind of want to be oblivious to it. But anyway, you know, let's we can find bullish markets, right? Let's not mistake the two. And this is why I keep banging on that asset selection is like the biggest possible edge is just simply asset selection. You know, the thing that to me differentiates people that have married their bags and can't move on versus those who can just adapt and go, well, all right, this week it's not Mudang, it's useless or whatever shit there is, right? I don't know. I don't know what it's going to be next week. I'm not going to pretend to know. But there are ways and means of finding out of what's doing well, right? You know, hooks running. Okay, well, I never would have gone for that. Not in a million years, because it looks like shit. H, I mean, that's a new listing. That's a bit different. And that's actually had, you know, really quite clean price action. And new listings can, particularly when they're like all on Binance and Bybit and all that kind of stuff, and they are, you know, short to the ground, like during this consolidation, you know, typically they get fucking squeezed. Now, I didn't trade that, so that's hindsight, a lot of people shit, so call me out for it. But my point being is being able to look at a fresh asset or look at another asset and go, should I have traded this? If the answer is yes, why didn't you catch it? If it's part of your sort of standard system, you know, for me, hooks, too low liquidity, look, I could not have traded that. Like, what a fucking mess. What a fucking mess. Huge sell-off, huge run-up. Just not my trading style, right? So yeah, there's plenty of other things that you can do. Build indicators, build systems, do all that shit. Anyway, we'll jump into some other charts, right? So Mudang, just going back to it and finishing it off actually. Do I think it'll go back to 0.05? Yeah, I do. I don't think there's any reason that Mudang will run over anything else. I mean, look at this. This is just someone fucking painfully like they're selling the shit out of it. Like they are literally just sending it to zero slowly. But anyway, you know, it going down to 0.05 quite easily. I would be looking like genuinely at this 0.07-ish area for a bounce first though. Like I wouldn't just be like, oh yeah, it's gonna go to 0.05, right? What's Bert saying? Or I will have a look in a sec, mate. But yeah, like with a lot of these things, right? It's also really easy, I think, to establish criteria on for, okay, let's say I want to be bullish on this asset because I think Mudang is a great meme. I can see how it's going to ride, blah, 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 blah. Like, you don't have to maintain a bearish bias indefinitely, but to me, you do have to see some changes in certain things for it to become an attractive asset to long, right? And we can work through them now, like, because this is like how I trade often on an intraday basis, but also on a higher time frame basis, yeah? So, like, looking at this, like, we know, because we've already had a look, like, daily market structure, there's a little higher low there, and actually, you know, this could, if you squint, be a higher low, right? So we could argue that this consolidation down here is a bit of a range. And you go, all right, if that is a range, and if this is kind of the end of a downtrend, and let's just, you know, maybe go to the 4 hour, because I expect it will be a little bit cleaner in terms of levels. It's not particularly clean, but all right. Again, quite janky price action, right? Let's try and stick to just the local levels because I'm not particularly interested in those down here. Like, how am I going to start justifying being long an asset that's been, you know, declining for a long time, you know, it's under the daily trend, is, you know, struggling with the kind of dynamic trend, is just not really strong on a relative strength basis. You know, is that Pepe or, sorry, is that Mudang or is it Pengu? Yeah, I think maybe it's this one. It's one of the light ones, yeah, it's that one. So, you know, it's not particularly strong either. Like it's you know, it's struggling just like everything else. Yeah, it's actually one of the weakest. So, you know, we have to be pretty confident in this if we want to long it. To me, like locally, we are at this low, which is kind of form of support over here, resistance over here, etc. And this is a 4 hour chart, bearing in mind. You know, we could look at something like this, a little bit of meme diagonal. The reason I like meme diagonals is because they're usually pretty clean, right? We've seen like a lot of TWAP selling. We've seen like, you know, this over here, like these lows down here. If we start pushing up on relative strength, breaking a diagonal, reclaiming this former range and consolidation, you know, I think you can certainly argue to get long here, right? And jump in. And you go, well, okay, is there actually, you know, much to get excited about? Well, from a trend scanner perspective, no, still in a downtrend at this point. You know, so maybe you half size it and then you half size when you clear the trend. But like, I don't see a reason to be bullish down here, right? Bullish when you've established even a lower time frame, higher low, sorry, here. Or you've seen some decent relative strength from it. Both of those things are really, really good. Both of those things are really good reasons to start being bullish on this asset, yeah? And until those things happen, then just why be bullish on it? That's my question to you. Like, I don't get it. Mudang will keep dropping until it stops and rips up. That's how it usually works with these memes. Yeah, and I agree, right? I think you will get a rip up of these memes at, you know, certain points when the market goes fully risk on again and when everyone goes, right, I'm fucking bearish. All this shit's going to zero, as the, you know, intro song said. Like, and then something like this will just play out, and it'll probably play out really fucking quickly. It'll literally just be vertical, right? You'll have days and days and days of downtrending price action wiped out in a few hourly candles. Yeah, you have little crown things. I know, it's mad. I've got top fans, top YouTube fans. Brock is my top YouTube fan with 75 experience, whatever that means. Shout out Brock-K6M. Let's go. Lit, you're number one now. A couple of messages and you're number one. Let's go. Let's fucking go. There, we're number one fan. Right, number one fan gets... I don't know, what does number one fan get? I'll think of a cool prize. The battle is on for participation in the stream. It's actually quite good, I like that. I like that idea. Giving people like XP for just chatting. But you get muted if you just chat absolute bullshit. You lost third place in 2 minutes. Savage. But yeah, like, this is how you should structure, in my opinion, not financial advice, getting bullish, like, on these kind of assets, accepting that it's a downtrend, looking for the pivot points, looking for changes in structure, looking for relative strength, looking for all that stuff, finding an invalidation. Like, we literally just went through all of that on Moodang. We went through all of it, right? That's a trade setup that you can just wait. You can set an alert here. You can even just do that, right? And just go, what would I have done on logarithmic again? I'm like I'm a pleb. But you can set an alert here. Bosh. Right, now you can walk away. That's going to come back to you. At some point, if this starts panning out, that'll come back to you, yeah? Don't have to worry about that. Now, Moodang done. We can just stick that on a list, leave it. Dropping faster than my altcoins. Yeah. What about Doge? I mean, I'll go to Doge because it's an interesting one. I think, for me, like, CT loves Doge, and I longed the shit out of Doge. Where was it? Way back here. Was it here or here? It was here, wasn't it? Yeah, it was 2023. A massive position in Doge, and I had to sell some when this div played out, really, because it was quite a sizable position for me, and you know, it was up 2x, which again was not loads, but because of the position size, it was very good. So I had to sell a lot, like down here, and I didn't then re-enter and you know, play this big run. But I don't think it's gonna have its day again. Like, I could be wrong, and again, we're just going to do the same process that we just did for Moodang and go, right, well, what do we want to see? Well, we want to see breaks of downtrends. We want to see changes in structure. We want to see some form of, like, horizontal invalidation. Is it here? Is it down here? It's a bit messy, really. I don't think there's anything particularly clean. You know, like, something like that. Like, I don't know. There's nothing clear to me on Doge. And is there going to be any relative strength? Well, probably not. I haven't seen Doge on the relative strength chart for a long fucking time. You know, Doge ETF, maybe. But is that particularly sexy and good? I just think there are too many memes. And I think when you take things on balance, right, do I want to be early to something that I think that is a fresh meme and is going to be better and do well? So like buying something down here or even here that I think is going to do this? Yeah, absolutely. Or do I want to try and buy into something that's done that so many times I can't even count? Yeah, I think it's had its day, and if I'm wrong, you know, then yeah, I will buy 0.17. I will buy up here, and I will do exactly that for like a 2x, maybe a little bit higher, you know, maybe have some TPs across here, have some final TPs up here, and then just look for trend loss. But at the moment, it just looks like shit. Looks like pretty much every other coin that we've talked about. There are a couple of exceptions, obviously. Where is it? Well under weekly trend. Well under dynamic. Every time we touch it, it just gets rejected. Where's daily? Be nice if I actually ordered them properly. Like, this is where it changed, right? This is where it became dumb to be kind of bullish on Doge. Nice rotations, but just absolutely annihilated by the daily trend. I'm just trying to like stick with simple stuff, yeah, just simple stuff, because I think people get a bit bogged down with spaghetti and stuff. But like that's literally it. Wait until things get a bit bullish, bullish. Capture the meat of the move. Like, this is not the time to go balls deep risk on, in my opinion, because I don't knife catch bottoms anymore. I don't even try to. What do you think about SPX 6900? I mean, I think it's done really well. I mean, I got quite annoyed by the people shilling it to me all the time, and they just become unbearable, do you know what I mean? They're just like, how do I put it? Just obnoxious. And it's like, work for your bags and all this stuff. And it's like, yeah, but you don't have to be a cunt about it. Yeah, and that's not aimed at anyone in particular. It's just a few members of a community, but it's quite a culty vibe, right? And cult vibes work. Obviously, they've done really well in terms of price appreciation. I remember looking at it in March or something and thinking, my God, it's really got fucking annihilated. And then obviously it's ran really hard since then. And anyone who's, again, followed the stream for a while will know that I love, like, parabolas. I love looking at, like, these kind of bizarre sort of half circles, quarter circles, whatever they are. And going, okay, usually you get this quite strong upward move and momentum, and then you get like a blow off top, and then it just kind of dies and meanders and doesn't really do much for a while. The fact that this around all-time high probably says that it's done for a little while. You know, I don't know where to kind of jump on now, unless it ranges for, you know, does this again and then ranges for a little while. But it's fundamentally a good meme. I don't have a bag anymore, so as far as I'm concerned, it can go to zero. But yeah. Yeah, it's been pretty strong, and I mean, I'd like to see it like hit, you know, fucking $10 trillion or something stupid. I would. I think it'd be a great story and signal, but it's, you know, it's a bit of a bitch to trade. I'm not going to trade it on perps, put it that way. Whereas Fartcoin, on the other hand, Fartcoin is the one that I've been relentlessly trading on perps. I will tell you a story of how this morning I shorted Fartcoin at, where did I short it? I think I might have shorted it in here. Was it there? I don't know, either way. This here was pretty much my average entry for a short. And then it just reversed as I was like AFK. And I just left it. I completely left it. I did the cardinal sin of not even having a stop on, and I left it. And yeah, the market completely saved me. I thought I had a stop on, right? I thought I'd put my stop up here. And then I was like, why is that negative number more than what I thought it could be? Oh. My stop was like at like $12 or something stupid, or like $11. It's like, it wasn't. It was like up here. I'd keyed something in wrong, and it was no, not knife catching. I missed this dip because I was doing the school run, which is like between 8 and 9. So, you know, 8 o'clock here and 9 o'clock when I got back here. Basically, it fully played out, and like if you replay it. If you go back to like local price action, yeah, for me, I actually woke up this morning, put in the paragon, I was like, look, I'm looking at like this Fartcoin range, lovely jubbly, let's see what happens. Aiming for something, you know, like this, and then, sorry, like this. And obviously that's exactly what happened, because I'm a fucking god. No, not really, but yeah, it's exactly what happened during the time that I'm away, which is like here. And by the time I came back, I was like, well, which is pretty much 9 o'clock on the dot, I was like, well, this is pretty ridiculous. I can't actually, you know, jump in here. I don't want to long here. not after this strong rotation, and now it's starting to like wane in momentum. I didn't play the short side, and I was like, well, actually, from a high time frame structure perspective, this looks fucking awful. In terms of like the kind of nosedive of momentum down here, and if I'm bearish Bitcoin, then Farcoin's surely going to follow. I don't tend to share shorts in the group anyway, because not unless they're either pre-planned and preordained, or there's some nice signals and it's kind of more structured than just YOLOing in at like a local high, which it was, to be fair. My entry was okay. It was like here, I think it was this candle. That feels about right. Yeah, which was essentially me following the trend down. And I thought we'd at least go to here. And then as I followed it down, I think I averaged in a little bit here. And then we got this kind of sell-off and then run up. I thought I'd get stopped out here or wherever it was. And I did not. And luckily, round trip the entire thing, and now it's fucking dying. But yeah. Well, I also added a bit here as well and brought my average down a bit. So we thank the market gods for this one, because it was a fucking terrible trade. Genuinely. And this is the thing I was always trying to tell people, and this is why I'm honest with, like, on here, is that I can have good trades and they not work out. And if they don't work out, I lose money or I make money. And, you know, I remember someone saying to me before, but a good trade's one that makes you money, surely. I'm like, nope, not always the case. You have plenty of good trades that make you money, plenty of bad trades that make you money, and equally plenty of good trades that lose you money, which is a concept that most people don't understand. It's a good trade, good thesis, nothing wrong. There's nothing that you can possibly, you know, have done different from your system to do. You've executed well, done everything well. The market just said, nope, not today. Not today, punk. That's fine. You know, my win rates on orders, where is it? Let's have a look. I sent this to XO earlier because I was chatting with him, and I won't show you his win rate, but it was substantially better than mine. What we got? That's for the last however long. Yeah, so not too bad, but not exactly the greatest. Not too bad given the conditions. I think this is the last week. Let's have a peep. It's last 30 days. Yeah, last 30 days. So, not amazing. Not amazing. But not terrible. Is Paragon still running a discount? No, I shut them all down today, mate. My bad. No, I shut them all down today. The countenance heart started to beat faster. Yeah, I mean, it'll never beat as fast as the time that I went fucking giga long on FTX. And I was like, right, giga long. And then it literally just went, before I could put my stop on, it went, oh, you've been logged out. And my fucking 2FA, aka my phone, was in the car, which is like outside and round the corner a little bit. And it was like, right, fuck, I've got to run and grab my phone out of my car before I either wake up to like this and get absolutely chunked, or yeah, it literally logged me out at the worst possible time, like the literal worst possible time. It was like bang, 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 mark it in, mark it in, mark it in, because I'll tell you what, I fucking raped the fact that I had like a ton of FTT. I had like one of the highest like VIP accounts on FTX. I basically paid no fees. I almost made money from the fees on there because I referred myself and had a bajillion FTT. and just got huge discounts, huge percentage referred, and it was just like brilliant. FTX are nearly paying me at this point for every fucking order I place. But anyway, yeah, it was just like chunk, 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 market in, market in, market in, and then it was like, you've been locked out. That was a squeaky bum moment. That was a very squeaky bum moment, I'll tell you that much. Good God. I still remember the sweat on my hand just fucking pouring out on my mouse, just like, But anyway, these things happen. You can only be so prepared, right? And, yeah. Right, so let's look at Altcoin now, because, you know, I'm starting to see some divergences down here. And this is kind of what I want to see, yeah? I mean, I'm not gonna just balls deep jump into this, because this is quite knife catchy, but this is the kind of thing that you want to start seeing when you're trying to play these reversals, right? Let's have a look. Let's have a look, see if we can bosh it out. Not as much as I'd like. You know, when you are looking at like this kind of move, and I know I'm just drawing a resistance line on volume. It's more to illustrate the fact that like this move was massively chunky, and that was earlier. And you know, this is more kind of controlled selling, like less of a battle in terms of like this, which was just massive. But you start getting these divs, and this is where you start looking at reversal plays. Like, let's have a peep. It's actually pretty weak. If you zoom into like this little rotation, it's one of the strongest. So again, like just logging things like this and going for little mean reversion plays. Like I'm in a short right now, so I'm probably not going to go for it. But this kind of long is is exactly how I try and like just play even just little mean reversion rotations, right? So you would look at, let's take a peep. Daily. Look at something like this, like just a simple like dynamic trend, and you would hope that we can at least get somewhere up to here, and that is kind of your first sense check of, you know, if we reject off that, that's probably just to fucking close it and just be done with it, right? You tried to along the bottom too early. Yeah, what's Daddy Bitcoin done? Daddy Bitcoin sold off again. Yeah, if I'm being super aggressive, this is how I try and jump in. But not starting off wonderfully. Like I said, I'm still short from like 109 or something. But yeah, maybe a terrible example. Market's just gonna keep going. You gonna swap any Peepo now the RR is getting good where it's at? Oh, I might do. I haven't actually looked at Peepo for ages. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't look terrible, does it? From like, I know Camel is building a decent product. I kind of trust Camel as a builder and as a person. So yeah, maybe I scoop a bag at like 3 mil. But I haven't seen many people talk about it recently, which my nervousness with these kind of things is it's always like similar, right? You got this downtrend, then you got this big move up, and then you got a downtrend, big move up, downtrend. All right, what's the next move up going to be? Something like this? Like, you know, structurally, it doesn't look particularly wonderful. But I might have a chat with Camo and see what he's doing, because I do like the guy. He's very smart. See kind of what's coming, and if, you know, try and work out if this is actually a reasonable place to buy or not. Yeah, it doesn't look terrible. What's happened to my Boomer coin? Fuck. My 401k got rugged, boys. I literally bought the top. Literally bought the Pico trend reversal. Fucking legendary. Absolutely legendary. Well, I'm gonna CTO this bitch and send it to 100 million, so fuck them. I'm getting my $29 back. This is the next SHIB, not financial advice. Percent owned, what's our liquidity pool? Go on, Bally. Yeah. Could get 5% for $200. Nice. I mean, there's always been a big part of me that just thinks, why wouldn't you just fucking serial CTO like projects and just fucking retire within about a year? Not even a year, probably about 6 weeks, if you did it right. Maybe that's the dark arc of Charlie. Maybe that's what we do. Maybe every stream becomes a CTO stream where we just fucking CTO a new coin each week and then dump on each other. Joking. That'll get me in so much fucking trouble. Yeah, we've had like moves from like BCH, USD. Yeah, US Duck. I'm a bit annoyed at US Duck, or whatever it's called, because a good friend told me to just buy a fuck ton of it. As he has many other coins, well, I just fucking ignored him. It's like, yeah, mate, don't get it. But then half of the coins do this, and then the other half do this, and then do this, and then do this, and then do that, right? So, I don't know. There's a bit of me that's meh. Can I chart sheet C-pool? Yeah, $100,000, mate. And I'll chart C-pool. Useless is the one that I feel really bad about, because I fucking aped this shit. Holy fuck. Holy shit. That's a busy chart. I aped this, like, back here. Well, like 20, 25 million or something like that, like way back here. And then I fucking ate a massive dick on it, like 75, 80% drawdown. And now it's ran like a motherfucker. But I never called it. And if I did call it, I'd have felt like a cunt, because people have been like, hey, you're buying the top. And then obviously you roll forward a month, and it's up like 10x from where I bought anyway. It's like fucking 25x from where Bonk Guy shilled it at the bottom in one of my replies. Fucking Chad called, to be fair. Yeah, that is a monster of a chart, isn't it? Absolute fucking monster. Oh, cool. They've got tweets. Look at that. That's fucking sick. That's so good. You can literally see the old uni PCS right here. Oh, let's not get banned. Oh, yeah, it's gonna ask me to log in and shit. We will save that. We'll save that for another stream. That's pretty cool. Like, see who's talking about shit. See what's going on. I didn't even know that was there because I'm obviously retarded. Nice. Does it all for you. Does it all your thinking for you. Yeah, guys. I haven't really got much more this week. I'm cautiously... Well, I'm bearish, like short term. I think that we will get some relief at some point. I'm really hoping that BCH stops fucking pumping and we start pumping some real coins. But so far, you know, this looks okay. This short. If this changes, then I will be full fucking risk on and I will play some absolute balls deep rotations to the long side. But, you know, with structures looking the way they are, you know, go to 4-hour Altcoin as an example, or maybe even like daily Altcoin chart. Daily Altcoin chart, it's like the same as BTC in terms of like, whoa, get that fucking dirty Fibonacci away from me. You know, it's downtrending. I would love to see it hold and bounce from this 105 level. We were actually talking about this in the group earlier. We were actually saying that this could be kind of the perfect level for it to properly retest and then bounce from, because if you look at like the former consolidations and former resistance, like over here, like let's just delete some of this shit, shall we? Let's delete this, get rid of volume, and let's just go nice and clean. Alright, let's go bosh. Start looking at like this as a bit of a, you know, support, resistance, support, you know, resistance, breakout. You know, let's see how it reacts here. This is going to be really critical for like the next few days of Altcoin. Like really critical. You know, I loved it long in the breakout here and up to this run. This could be a really nice pivot point for Altcoin. Really, really nice if it works out. You know, and we look at this as in like this, and then this is just a higher low. And we've got a nice invalidation here. So, you know, we could look at picking up a nice, decent sized Altcoin bag with something like this. Yeah, if we reclaim this. Again, what we can do is we can do something like this. We can add an alert, and we can just let the trade come to us. Yeah. So if we're sat there later and this pings off, happy days. We got a 106 alert. We know that this is actually a pretty decent area to potentially take on some Altcoin. No? Nah, not Seapool, mate. Hey Joey, are you planning on holding spot alts or accumulating like Doc was talking about during this quarter? Or are you just short-term trading them? So I'm short-term trading them. I want to buy, in general, more spot bags, right? But like, there's just not too much that's appealing. Altcoin's probably the only one that I would really consider like buying a decent-sized long-term spot bag for, which sounds really stupid because, you know, it's fucking Altcoin. But, you know, structurally, it's still okay from like a daily perspective, right? It's not too bad. A little bit of like squinting, and you start looking at this and going, well, if it reclaims this, then that's kind of check one. If it pushes above, then that's check two. You know, you could size in appropriately and, you know, argue that it's still holding daily structure or 4-hour structure, etc. And it has been pretty strong. But if it doesn't do that, and it does just sort of sell off and roll over and carry on trending down, then obviously I've just avoided myself of a fuck ton of drawdown. And then we'll see how the market pans out. I would love to load up some spot bags at the lows. Like, what a lot of people don't get about the market selling off is that it gives you the opportunity to go again, because this market is cyclical. Like, look at the opportunities like FWOG, right? Look at that. Absolutely mental. One of the shittest coins ever, in terms of it was literally out for like 3 months and they pushed it to whatever it was, like fucking nearly $1 billion market cap. And then it just fucking died. Like, literally, full Burj Khalifa. Unbelievable. You know, the more stuff like this ranges, I'm not saying like FWOG specifically, but the more it ranges, you know, when it does break out, or if it does, the better. Not an easy trade, of course not. Nothing. There's no real such thing as an easy trade unless you're proper arbin and you're a nerd. But yeah, buy a load of alts at the low again. Long term for near and apt. I mean, they've kind of had their cycles, mate. Right? They're in like this phase again. Yeah, we've had real strong runs, and now it's kind of just dying off. Like that near with the AI meta and the AI vibe and all of that, really good. Down here, not so good. You know, there's just better options. It's probably going to be exactly the same thing with Aptos as well. You know, it's just not that interesting. Yeah, Aptos kind of going for new lows. You know, wouldn't be surprised to see it just down here at some point. Like, why do people want Aptos? Like, yeah, it's had a couple of good runs, but I don't know. I just wouldn't want a bag of it, to be perfectly honest. again, if you really wanted to convince me to go and buy a bag of it, you know, we'd have to kind of break out of this range, essentially. Like, it's the same argument as with desync, right? Why do I think this is going to start running? Well, I've got no thesis, I've got no major conviction in the team or what they're doing or the area that they're operating in or anything like that, right? There's a million fucking layer 2s. If it did something like that, then yeah, maybe I could jump on board, right? Because if it's outperforming the market, if it's starting to break out of an accumulation range, great. Good reason. But just buying like fucking lows down here, I'm not interested. Not interested, man. Like, you whack any kind of trends on this, right? And just be objective about it. Like, looks like shit. Weekly trend, looks like shit. Daily trend, looks like shit. It's been pointing down and to the right since fucking December 24. You know, I think the other big mistake that people will make this cycle is to think that every coin can go back to all-time high. And that's just not the case. You know, it's just not the case. Stuff like ETC, for example. You know, a lot of coins will look like ETC this cycle. So Ethereum Classic, you know, huge run up, incredible run up. It will never see that all-time high ever again. And every cycle, every little run, you know, it's that bouncing ball of momentum. It's pretty much got worse every single time, apart from that one, where it was equal with this one. Yeah, it's just worse and worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. And it's because it's faded out of relevance. Now, I like playing it for the scam bump every now and again. That was a banger. But realistically, you know, would I buy a bag of this? Would I put my daughter's inheritance into this? Absolutely not. It's come, it's had its day, it's done. But yeah. Not to be harsh. Just, you know, you asked me for my view and there it is, my friend. Gotcha, thanks. I'm gonna wait until we see the down move. Stop a bit, load before Q4. Think Pepe, Fart, Whiff, etc. Things that got to bigger market caps. Yeah, I think there's a good argument for that. I actually think that I'm probably going to go a little bit more left field and a little bit more like spicy degen. But it's entirely obviously up to you what you do. Yeah, I think that's probably enough for this week. There's a lot going on. You know, a lot of stuff's just sold off. We'll see if that actually manifests into, you know, pure downtrending price action, or if this is just the little local low. You know, we had that little div on Altcoin, which did we redo that? I do it on one of these. No, whichever one I did it on. Either way, you know, you can see it starting to play out in terms of like the little run. But yeah, Bitcoin just fucking selling off. Yeah. Which is kind of nice for me, but maybe not for everyone else. Yeah, cool. I'm gonna love you and leave you all there. Thank you all for attending the stream, obviously. If you enjoyed the content, sign up with BonkBot, firstly. Secondly, subscribe and like the stream. Thirdly, see you at the same time next week. Au revoir, my friends and family. Toodle of the pip.